Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. The World Cup is over and it's over with France becoming the champions for a second time. Won it in 1998, they've now won it in 2018, 20 years on. Did they deserve it? Not in my opinion. Croatia have been robbed in this game. I'm going to dive into this entire game. So many amazing moments in terms of drama. Great game for the neutral, but for Croatian fans, any Croatian fans watching this right now, you have got to be fuming with what's going on. And watching what's happened in this game and the chat afterwards, people are just letting it go, allowing France to have their name written on that trophy, when ultimately they've been totally cheated at this, Croatia. It's outrageous, and I'm surprised that people aren't getting more angry about this. Let's dive into it, because there's so much to talk about. And look, I've got no problem with France. I don't care about France at all. I don't really care about Croatia. What I do care about is a game being decided in a fair way. And this game, Croatia have dominated this game pretty much from start to finish. France are deadly on the counter-attack, and they have some unbelievable players, frightening players that should have won this game easily, and ultimately they didn't really get out of second gear. But Croatia deserved to win this game, and they were robbed. The first goal is a blatant dive by Griezmann. A massive dive, 18 minutes gone, and there's no contact with him at all. He's bought the foul, and it's not even close to being a foul. It's really embarrassing what he's done there. Some people will see it's cunning. Not me. I don't like it. I just don't like diving in the game, and not when it's as pathetic as that, to be honest. And from that free kick, Griezmann knows what he's doing. And look, Harry Kane does it. All players do it. They win fouls, but often they do it where there's some kind of contact. Griezmann has totally put his two legs out like that, and he's bought a foul through diving, through cheating. He's put the ball in. It's a great ball, and the goal comes from that. But the root of that goal is unfair, so they shouldn't be 1-0 down. Croatia then battle and control, let's be honest, this game from there on. And get back in the game. A great goal, great set piece for Allcott, going bombing down the right-hand side. He heads the ball back in, and then Vida with a little pass to Perisic. Perisic, who I thought was man of the match for me. Him and Modric were the two best players on the pitch in terms of the performances they normally give, and then the performance level that they gave in that game. I thought Perisic was possessed for 60 minutes of the game. The goals obviously took a bit of steam out of the way that he played, but he never stopped, and he was a massive, massive threat in this game. But the goal he scored was fantastic. So they get back in the game, and then you just want it to be a great event. And the game was so open that it was going to be. And then it gets ruined by this VAR penalty. Now, the cross has come in. It's hit his hand, absolutely. So VAR, I understand it's not going to be right all the time, and I also understand that it's going to be subjective. And I also understand that if it hits his hand and it's a big game like that, then maybe you've got to go to the referee and go, maybe you should have a look at this. But the referee has made the wrong decision, in my opinion. He has absolutely got that wrong. It's not deliberate in any way, shape or form. He hasn't got time to move his hand to it. And when it's a World Cup final, I still think for referees, there's an element of common sense that's got to come into this. It's not deliberate. He's not moved his hand to the ball because there's not time for it, and he doesn't need to be given that penalty. And for me, it feels like he's got it totally wrong for me. Is it attention seeking? I'm not going to go as far as that, but there was no need for him to give that penalty. The game could have carried on, and the French fans and the French players wouldn't have even blinked. Instead, they get a goal, and they get the penalty. Griezmann takes it, brilliant, great strike. But the whole game for me, France lacked chemistry, and they lacked a midfield for a lot of it. I understand they've got this low block, and then they look to counter-attack, and I like that. But also, there's different phases of play, and there's periods of the game where, with the players that they've got on show, they should be playing at a higher level than this. They should be dominating the game. They should be dominating possession. They did neither of those two things. I like attacking at pace, but I think you've got to switch it up, especially when you're playing against a team like Croatia, who are looking to control the game, and you're allowing them to get into the game. Pogba, for me, scored a goal. It was a great goal, and it was a great through ball before that, which essentially is just hitting a channel and hitting space. But he's got incredible technique, and so he can do that. And that's an aspect that maybe Man United need to kind of find a way of doing themselves. Can they find themselves a right winger who's going to go beyond? Because at the moment they've got a lot of left-sided players. So there's an option there for Mourinho to look into, because Pogba's got it in his locker. But you saw Modric dominate that game. Did Pogba dominate that game? Not even close, really. It's the same thing with Pogba trotting about. I might get some. Look, let me know your thoughts on this, and if you agree with me, then hit that subscribe button. But I just thought it was really poor from France. I think what's frightening is they've got 3 or 4 gears to still go into. If they can find a manager that can knit this together, knit this team together, find a midfielder that's going to run it and be brave enough maybe to kind of go, yeah, we are too good for you, then they really, really could be frightening, because they then have the ability to play on the counter-attack like they did, but also show something different and play through a side, which really, in most of these games, they haven't really done that. And I understand that you've got to have tactics, and it's a bloody strong tactic to have the threat of Mbappe and his pace. It's frightening. It's like a cheater out there, driving down that right-hand side. You saw, he was very hit and miss, but you saw the threat that he could offer. But ultimately, I'm a little bit disappointed. I've got to say, I think Croatia were robbed. I think they played brilliantly. I think they deserved more. I think if they'd shown, I think the game, it showed the quality that was in both teams, that a midfielder can only do so much. You can get the ball into the final third, but Rebic, Perisic and Modric, as much as I've said Perisic is great, and I thought he was great, he's an out-and-out winger. And Mandzukic had moments, he got a goal, but it was just through persistence. It wasn't through any real quality on this occasion. Needed a little bit more. I thought the crosses in the last 30 minutes from Croatia needed to be better. Got themselves into good positions, not totally down the right wing, but then just coming back in and putting a ball in. But could they have committed a few more players into the box? Could they have given Modric the ball quicker? I think they could have done both of those things. But ultimately, if you're a Croatia fan, I think you've got to be really proud of your team's performance. For Allcott on the right-hand side, looks class. Modric, I think he's cemented himself as one of the great midfielders, but with his entire tournament and his season with Real Madrid as well, the last few seasons. And Croatia, as I say, have done themselves proud. But France, they've won it. They've got so many great players. But I expect more from France. I expect more from these top players that they have. But it doesn't matter, does it? They've won it. They've won it out of Cantor. I find that really odd. Normally, you watch a World Cup final and it's tense. But this team has scored 4 goals and walked away with the title without really getting into second gear. I'm going to do a video on what this World Cup will be remembered for. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're new to the channel, then you won't miss that video. Loads more to come on the James Lawrence Allcott channel. We've got the podcast coming back. We've got, can you hear that? That's going to be a French fan. We've got the Premier League coming up soon, and so much more. So hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.